Hello, and welcome to the crossover, where nothing is out of bounds and everything is fair game. We have a lot to cover with you today, but first, let's check in with the talk. Please, you will want to welcome to Stats and Top.
What's happening, everybody? And once again, it is time for the best, the greatest, the number one sports talk show anywhere. You can go to YouTube, you can go to the radio, you can go to the World Wide Web, but I guarantee you won't find one better, than what you're listening to right now. This is At Home with the Crossover, and I am your man, Big T, alongside my tag team partners, the usual cast of characters, none other than Mama, the doctor, the first lady, the queen, the entrepreneur. She is definitely in the house. Love it, love it, love it. Her name is TP, and I'm getting ready to ask her to say what's up to you. TP, what's going on?
Blessings on blessings on blessings.
Blessings on blessings on blessings. I love it. It wouldn't be an At Home with the Crossover without it. Then we go to the man that brings the ag swag to the show each and every week. And it wouldn't be the same show without him bringing that Aggie pride. And I hope I didn't steal your thunder by saying that. But Aggie P is his name. What's up, AP?
Aggie Pride Nationwide, Big T.
There you go. I love how you shortened it. How you kind of, instead of Aggie Pride he's like Aggie Pride Nationwide. I love it. I love it.
I've heard better, BT. I heard
you heard better. You've heard better.
No, you haven't, Radar.
Leave it to this dude. And so we might as well introduce him. I saw him running around back and forth in front of his camera, for those of you who are watching on YouTube. And I was like, where's his handlers? Because, if he's running around like that, they know he can't see. That's why we refer to him as Radar Charles. He's in the house, but you may know him as Radar. What's going on, man?
Narrow is the way, Big T, when the March Madness is underway, sir. I'm just happy to be here.
There you go. And then he's got the crown on. He's going to explain, I guess, at some point during the show why he's wearing the crown. He's got the belt over his shoulder, the WWE belt. He's the Eagles fan, the resident Eagles fan, the resident LeBron James fan, Wake Forest fan, all of those things. His nickname is Birdman. He's definitely in the house. Bird, what's up?
I talked to God and the Queen, and it's 3 years, 24 million extension. I signed it. She's on with us forever.
He's your agent, TP? I didn't know that. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, well, hey. Hey, together we're the Tunnel Crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. And on tonight's show, we're going to recap the NCAA tournament, both men's and women's, because there's upsets galore. We got a lot to talk about. Pistol Pete's record. We're going to get into that and talk about that a little bit. And we're going to ask, what should the Panthers do with that number one pick? Also, Cam Newton out there making a little news. So since we're talking about the Panthers, we might as well talk about Cam a little bit. But first, we open the show with our man, with our guy. He is our resident Carolina Hurricanes / NHL hockey guru. He is the longest standing season ticket holder in the history of the Carolina Hurricanes. His name is Larry. For those of you who don't know him, for those of you who do, you know that you're in for a treat. He's joining us again. He joins us every month during the hockey season, and he's back to talk a little Canes with us. Larry, what is going on?
Oh, man. We've come to the big part of the season now. We've got 14 games left, 14 home, 7 home, 7 away. Big game tonight. I'm watching it on the big screen.
See, watching it right now.
Distracted a little bit, but we're playing at New York Rangers. They are 6 points behind us. We have 2 games in hand, which means we can play 2 more games than they do.
Okay.
So it's huge. It is huge. It's going down to the wire.
There you go. And like you said, the Canes are 45-15-8. They're at the Rangers tonight, who are 41-19-10. Then you got a quick turnaround. They come to Raleigh. When is it? Is it Friday?
Thursday night.
Wow. So one day off, and then they mix it up again, but this time on our turf. And the Canes right now, they're first in the Metro Division. They got 98 points, which is second most in the NHL, behind that juggernaut Boston with 111. So, Larry, the Canes, how are they doing it? And especially with the injury to Andrei Svechnikov, lost him. So I'll let you talk about that. But how are they filling that void, and how are they continuing to maintain the level of excellence?
Well, first of all, you have to remember that we lost the big signing guy that we had, Pacioretty. He had 2 torn Achilles. And so we're not trying to replace him because we have a good team.
Yeah.
So Svechnikov goes down, and we bring up a minor leaguer, Drury, but Drury was not there to replace Svechnikov. He was going to be called up anyway.
Yeah.
So we still have a good team, and the other teams respect that, and they know that. We proved it to Philadelphia the other night. Aho had a hat trick.
Love that.
We scored to tie the game with 0.3 seconds left in the game. And then Aho scored the game-winning goal in overtime 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
So we're not going away. There's a question of, yes, is Boston better than us? Is New York Rangers, are they better than us? How about the New Jersey Devils nipping at our heels, only 1 point behind?
Yeah.
But we have so far been regimented and playing our game and making it a very good competition.
Yeah.
This week is going to be the biggest week of the season, because we play New York Rangers twice. Then on Saturday night, we play Toronto, which is also a playoff team, only not far behind us.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, the very next day, less than 24 hours later, we play Boston, the number 1 team in the NHL. So we're going to find out what we're made of.
I'm telling you,
be the week that is. This is the week.
Man, I'm telling you, that is a tough schedule.
Yep.
And I went to a game with you a couple of weeks ago. It's where I got this hat from. I told you I was going to wear it tonight. Thank you, man. and hey, hush, Radar. And the one thing that I talked to you about after we saw the game, because we went to a game last year, and after watching that game, I said the one thing I noticed. Now it was a 1-0 win for the Canes, right. But I said the one thing I noticed is they were definitely not being out muscled and out physical this time like they were last year when we went to the game.
Well, that's true.
And that's been huge, I think.
Yeah, it has been huge. We've had to get really tough. We've had to finish our checks, which means if you have to drive the player in the boards, drive him into the boards, get the puck, go after the puck.
Yeah.
Don't give up, don't quit.
Yeah.
And that's the way the playoffs are. And if we aren't that tough, we won't go far in the playoffs. That's just the way it is. The other thing is we are fast. Yeah. And our defense is the tough one. I think it's the toughest defense in the NHL.
Yeah.
We have, I think we're second as far as penalty killing. And, that's going to keep us in the game. It's not necessarily our offensive players who have been scoring the goals. It's been the defense. That's why Svechnikov may not be such a big difference, Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, anybody else from the Tunnel Crew want to ask Larry a question? And Radar, I see you with the grin. Hey, let me apologize beforehand, Larry, for whatever Radar says, because
anyway. No. It's okay.
I'm gonna make this quick, Tunnel Crew. I just wanted to warn Larry, and Aggie P already knows this very well. Please don't ever be there while your team falls behind. Don't be alone if Big T comes off the boat. If it look like your team is tanking, go ahead and take your hat back and your t-shirt.
Take the hat back.
Our buddy Aggie P, he came out cheap. He didn't have to buy a t-shirt. He just came up short on the hat and just jumped off the bandwagon.
Got it. Okay, we're all good.
Right. I don't want to tell you picked the wrong Tunnel Crew member to take to the hockey game after the show.
Hey, he won't let that one down. Let me live that one down. Oh well.
Nope.
Well, so I guess there's no question there, then. So let's move on to somebody who may
Fair
have
enough.
a question. Is there anybody else on the Tunnel Crew who has a question for Larry?
Big T with really no questions. I think Larry kind of summed it all up. I mean,
Yeah.
you got a physical, fast team that play defense.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I mean,
So far, we have 3 shots on goal to 1 shot on goal for the Rangers. Just
Yeah,
to bring you up to date.
And that's the key right there, because the games I've watched, you could tell who the aggressor is by the shots they're getting on goals, and
Yeah.
then how physical they are on defense by how they're limiting the other team's shots.
That's it. That's the game.
Man,
the
that's
game.
good. Let's go get that cup. Let's do
So
it.
let's go get that cup.
Yeah.
TP, you seem like you had a question,
Well,
or you got a comment.
it's a comment for Larry.
Okay.
I want you to know that Miss Small Wonder, she said, "Hey Larry, and thank you for inspiring my new interest in hockey over the past 2 years. Go Canes."
There
Yes.
you go.
Yes.
Getting some more fans here.
That is the
Yes.
one thing I have tried to introduce more people to hockey than you can imagine. That's
I believe
that's
it.
my goal. That's
Yep.
my
Yep. It's a
Don't leave
beautiful
it
thing.
it is.
Hey, it's a beautiful thing, and I told him, I said, you got me so into it. They had this college hockey tournament in Winston. It was playing down at the Joel for I think it was 3 days, and I told him, I said, man, Larry, I thought about calling you up, say, hey, let's ride down here and catch this. I know
I had
Carolina had a
call.
team. Say, what's that?
I've been known to go all kinds of places with
Yeah.
a fun ball,
Yeah,
including
yeah.
Toronto, Las Vegas, wherever there's a game that I need to see, I'll
Yep.
be
I'll be there. There you go.
I like
There
it. I
you,
like
say you like it.
Yeah.
there.
Well, and that. Go ahead, TP. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I did want to ask about when people start to get interested in hockey, and what I mean is players. Is it typically just an up north sport mostly?
Used to be. But
okay.
now, one of the players that we got at the trade deadline is from Florida. Hockey is being introduced all over, especially where there are major league NHL teams. The kids are starting to play, and it's becoming, more of an alternative sport for the kids.
There you go.
It's an expensive sport, but there are foundations that are setting up money to provide kids with the equipment and so forth to get used to it and get them into the game. And so that's great.
Hey, what's the score, Larry, before we get you out of here?
Oh, Jarvis almost had a goal right then. It is 0-0 with 3 shots on goal for each team.
Okay. Hey, you got a hockey name of the day for us?
Yes, I do. His name is Neil Pionk. Pionk. He's a defenseman for the Winnipeg Jets, and he's from the United States.
Wow. So
I
he's
saw
not
him
even.
play the other night, and I said, I've got to use that name.
Yeah. It's not even a foreign player. So that's awesome.
No, isn't that great?
Yeah. Well, hey, Larry, we thank you for joining us as usual. We look forward to catching you again next month, man.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
Larry.
No Canes.
All right, Larry.
Go
Okay.
Canes.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
T-shirt money.
All right, hey, that's our man Larry getting us up to speed on the Carolina Hurricanes. When we come back, we'll get into the hot topics. You listen to At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. And guess what? Our time as At Home with the Crossover is growing short because on April the 20th, we will be moving back to in studio on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Look at Aggie P rolling his eyes, looking over the glasses. He doesn't like that. You know, he's enjoyed this. But yeah, we're going back to the studio Thursday, April the 20th, 7 p.m. You can catch us on YouTube live on April the 20th, that Thursday night at 7 p.m. And each Thursday night moving forward after that will be on YouTube. And we'll return to just being called The Crossover Sports Show. It will no longer be called At Home with the Crossover because COVID, you know, we're trying to move on past COVID finally. So, yeah. Hey. But yeah, so tune in. Until then, catch us on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Also, let everybody know that we'll be moving to Thursday nights on YouTube at 7 p.m. starting April the 20th. But yeah, catch us there on Tuesday nights for now. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. TP, do we have any social media shout-outs, comments, questions, or anything from the fans and listeners?
Do we? I think I need to have Radar to join us for this one right here because right now, dude, that's why he is cutting up for everyone who can't see. That is why he is cutting up so bad. I'm gonna just give him the floor because I'm telling you, it's nothing but a party.
Oh Lord!
Join us, please. So for now, you can join us on Tuesdays at home. But when we come back on Thursdays at April the 20th?
April the 20th, yep.
Continue to keep joining us for this YouTube party. So I'm going to give it for the Radar.
Radar.
Okay. All right, real quick. Talking for Fun said, here go Radar starting up with the Aggies again. and B. Smith had the nerve to say, I'll be making up my stuff. I said, man, that is all imagination. Sometimes we get little small details wrong, Aggie P and Birdman.
Little small details, okay.
We're all here to hear them and iron them out before we get off the air, right?
Wait a minute. In all fairness, I said Radar will have you making jump shots and also said you sorry in the same sentence.
Yeah, he will. That's what. Hey, that's because he can't see. He can't see what's going on, so he just got to make stuff up.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's the shades. It's the shades.
It's the shades. There you go. All right, well, let's jump on into our hot topics here. First, we want to thank Larry for joining us once again. Appreciate him every month during the hockey season, keeping us up to speed on the Hurricanes. And we're going to move on to the hot topics now. And it's hottest stories of sports. May not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things we, the Tunnel Crew, want to talk about. And the NCAA tournament is the hottest. Of course, it's the hottest. And we've seen history made in both the men's and women's tournament action on last weekend. Number one seeds were falling left and right as you had Fairleigh Dickinson, number 16 seed, taking down number one Purdue. And you might recall that had never happened before. It's like 150 something and 0 until 2018 when UMBC took out Virginia. And that was the first time you'd ever had a number 16 seed beat a number one in the men's tournament. And it hadn't happened since. It's been 5 years since anybody's done that. Well, Fairleigh Dickinson said, I don't know if y'all saw this, but their coach said after they won the play-in game on that Tuesday night, he was caught on camera saying, you know, the more I watch tape of Purdue, the more I think we can beat them. And he said, I wish that wasn't recorded. Apparently it didn't matter because they took down the 7-4 monster Edie and Purdue and just made them look slow. I mean, let's face it. Let's be honest. They just made them look slow. And the worst part of it was Edie was you know, I mean, Fairleigh Dickinson average height was the smallest team in the tournament. And Edie is 7'4", and he only got one basket the last 12 minutes of that game. Okay?
Wow.
So you're not going to your guy that can dominate the game when you got a small team like that. You gotta get it in the hands of the players. So Tunnel Crew, you had that upset, and then you had, you know, another number one going down as Kansas lost to Arkansas. Eric Musselman and his Arkansas team took down the defending national champs. They're out. You know, you had number 2 Arizona being put out, you know. And I mean, it was just chaos all over the place. Marquette, number 2, got beat by number 7 Michigan State. And like I said, number 15 Princeton beat Arizona. Number 13 Furman took out our very own number 4 Virginia Cavaliers. You know, and then as far as that was surprising. You know, and as far as the ACC is concerned, we had 5 teams in. NC State got put out. Like I just mentioned, Virginia got put out. Pittsburgh won 2 games before they got put out. Duke, surprisingly, got put out by Tennessee. I mean, couldn't do anything. So Tunnel Crew, all these upsets that happened last weekend in the men's bracket, and we're going to talk about the women's too, but let's break it down. Your thoughts on the upsets and the craziness that we've seen so far.
I want to comment on Purdue.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. That man meant to say that in that mic. Did you not see when he said, come here, I want Purdue to hear this?
Oh.
Yes, he did.
He meant to say it.
He said, come here, because I want Purdue to hear this. He said that. When he said that, I said, oh, he is making a bold statement. Said, what happened? His team won.
Yeah, that's right. Apparently Purdue wasn't listening, you know, because that didn't motivate him.
No, but it was the whole point of, he said, come here, I want Purdue to see this.
Yeah.
He can say that he didn't say that. You know why?
Yeah.
It goes back to what we hear in the movies. So let it be written.
That's right. Hey, the tape don't lie, right? Tape don't lie.
Evidence.
There you go. Hey, anybody else got any thoughts on, you know, Purdue or Kansas or, you know, any of these upsets that we saw in the opening weekend?
Well, Big T, I think the upsets really helped make March Madness.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes it exciting, man.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking at Princeton. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I mean, okay. And then the Arkansas coach, he'll took his shirt off, and you know, he's excited, like they just won it all. And,
yeah.
And then also too, I'm gonna say this because I really watched this game, the Duke and Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Physical.
Yes.
Not only is the SEC physical in football, they are physical in basketball too. Did you see how they started that game, Big T?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, those freshman guys kind of like, uh-oh, what is
Yeah,
this?
what's this? We ain't seen this before.
Right. The old guys beating up on us. Hey, they're physical. So yeah, man, very excited. I love the upsets, and
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see who's going to win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, they got out physical in the game. Jay Billis, I like Jay Billis. He's one of the former Duke players that I think tries his best not to show his allegiance. I mean, I've heard him talk junk about Duke. I've heard him question Coach K and stuff. He usually tries to distance himself from any kind of, loyalty and connections. But he couldn't hide his colors after this one because he thought it was a little too physical. He complained, said he thought refs needed to control that thing a little bit better. And I was like, come on now, Jay. Don't start showing your colors, man.
Right.
Oh, man. Anybody else got any thoughts?
You know what? This brings it back to our topic that we talked about a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about the state of basketball.
Yeah.
Where is it at? Where does it look like it's headed? And to Aggie P's point, everybody was playing physical. Everybody's playing fast and hard.
Yeah.
And I was just impressed with the level of games on the second round. Everybody was competing. Nobody was walking it out, Aggie P.
No.
I ain't seen nobody mellow in like those Tar Heels. They just acted like they were just here for show and tell,
Hey, I will say this. They did take Alabama to 4 overtimes before losing to them barely. And
Carolina.
And who has been the most dominant team in the tournament so far? Alabama's won both games by 20 plus. They're the only team to do that. So, hey, there's something to be said there, right? Give them a little credit.
Yeah. We give a little something.
Bird, you have been quiet, my man. Your thoughts on the tournament?
It's because you said that the Duke and Tennessee game, that was a surprise. It wasn't to me. Here's why it wasn't a surprise to me, because Duke is still young. The only veteran player that's been in that tournament is Roach.
Yeah.
So I think he should have gotten the team together with the young guys and said, hey, look, I've been down this road before. You guys need to take this serious, just as much serious as I am. And we need to go out here and we need to play hard, fast, and physical. Yep. But the only problem with that is Tennessee was playing big man ball. They wasn't playing no games. Now, I agree to an extent that the refs should have called, they should have controlled that a little bit more. There's no reason for that much physicality, but I understand the physicality in that magnitude of the tournament.
Yeah.
However, 9 times out of 10, when you're playing big ball versus small ball, big ball is always going to win 9 times out of 10. So they'll come back next year. But I don't think this year was their year to make it far in the tournament like they did years prior.
And they had a great season. 28 wins, won an ACC championship, hey. And John Shire's first year, give him credit. Hey.
Yeah, I'll give him lots of credit because, I mean, you took over the reins. You pretty much answered questions.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, what are you going to do without Coach K? Well, see what happened.
You know what they always say, you don't want to be the man that follows the man, so... Hey, that leaves one ACC team left in the Sweet 16, number 5 seed Miami, and they knocked off number 4 Indiana to get there. Over on the women's side, you had the same deal, Miami knocking off Indiana on the women's side, and you had a couple of upsets over there. Like I said, Indiana was a number 1 seed on the women's side. Miami took them down. And did y'all see the young lady from Miami? She shot the free throw and then did this to the crowd.
Yeah.
I was like,
free throws,
wow, I was like, wow. You want to talk about...
But that's Miami-ness. Is that a word?
Yeah, Miami-ness.
That's what the Hurricanes do it, man. It surprised me.
Hey, and then you had number 1 Stanford losing to number 8 Ole Miss. And you want to look at all the close games, but you had number 2 Iowa only winning by 8. You had number 3 Notre Dame only winning by 5, I mean, you had Princeton almost beating the number 2 seed. They only lost by 7 points. Number 3 Ohio State only beat Carolina by 2 points, So all of that to say this. one thing hasn't changed. The old schools, Tennessee, UConn, and the defending champs, South Carolina, they've been blowing people out. You know, they not taking any mercy. So your thoughts on the women's tournament, you guys, before we head to the break.
Caitlin Clark is lighting it up from the arc. And
Yes.
She's getting comparisons to Steph Curry. And I was in that bracket where they can meet the Gamecocks. If they're not careful, they might have to come up against that.
So you think there's a chance?
Say again?
Are you saying there's a chance?
There's a very good chance because they know how to play around them.
Oof.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
Check out
gonna
the
be
clips.
Say
You'll
check
see.
out the clips. That's gonna
You'll
be
see.
interesting.
South Carolina.
okay.
They're gonna take it. They're gonna take it. We taking the chip again.
Hey, there we go. All right, listen up, everybody. Catch us on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell everybody you know about it. Then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. And as an announcement here, April the 20th, Thursday, April the 20th, we're moving back in studio. We're taking this show to Thursday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube, and we'll be live in the studio starting April the 20th. There will no longer be an At Home with the Crossover on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., but that's April the 20th. Catch us every Tuesday night until then, right here on YouTube, Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. When we come back, we're going to finish up our hot topics and get into our question of the day. You're listening to At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
Hey, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. And you can catch us Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know about it. And then on Thursday nights, you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it also online, but at a different place, WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. And don't forget, Thursday, April the 20th, we are moving back to the studio. We're moving this show to Thursday nights on YouTube, 7 p.m., and we'll be back live in the studio then. And that will mark the end of this Tuesday night edition of At Home with the Crossover, as we'll go live on Thursday night, 7 p.m. in studio, starting April the 20th. All right, just a couple of wrap-ups real quick before we get to the social media comments and things like that. Couple of things I want to mention to y'all about the tournament before we move on. Blue Bloods. There are 4 teams considered Blue Bloods: Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas, and Duke. Hey, do y'all know it's only the 4th time that neither one of those 4 teams made it to the Sweet 16? Only the 4th time ever. 1976, 1979, 2021, and this year. You have neither one of those teams moving on to the Sweet 16. So that's how rare this is. And then the women's tournament. You remember they were fighting for the equality back in 2020 and talking about the weight room and all that stuff? Well, as a part of them upgrading their weights and their equipment and all that stuff and giving them better meals and everything, they also, for the first time, allowed them to put the March Madness moniker on the women's tournament. This is the first time it's been called March Madness for the women. And guess what? We're seeing it. We are seeing the craziness, the madness on the women's side, just like the men's. You normally don't see that. Women usually be chalk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Till you get the monsters in the Final Four, where you have like 3 number 1 seeds and 1 number 2 seed playing the Final Four. Then there's might be a mild upset. You say, "Oh, that we didn't think that number 1 seed was gonna beat them." But yeah, this year you're seeing the craziness. All right, TP, we got any social media shout outs, comments, or questions from the listeners and fans?
Yes. So we have Radar talking about he's hating on me, talking about Don Staley. So I just want you to know. Yeah, I'm telling everybody that. Radar hating on the women right now.
Say hating. Come on, man.
Hating on the women right now. Because we're talking to nobody on YouTube but the women. So therefore,
stop hating.
That's right. You hating. The male-dominated show, I am the queen.
There you go. And the mama.
This is my court. All these people are my court. So therefore, you can start hating.
You hear that, Radar?
Hey, Ann Mitchell said, "What's up?" Since she's saying I'm just focusing on the hate. I just thought we was a team. The ball. Don't throw the ball at me, Aggie P. Pass the ball to me.
Just said absolutely madness for the women.
There you go. And it has been. It's been crazy. All right. Hey, let's get into a story that I wanted to bring up a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't have time. And I'm glad it didn't, because it didn't have a period on it. Now it's got a period on it, and it's going to lead into our question of the day. So Detroit Mercy guard Antoine Davis, he was heading into his conference tournament 2 weeks ago. He was, I think, 26 points shy of breaking Pete Maravich's all-time scoring record for the NCAA for an NCAA career. And that record is 3,667 points, where he was 26 points away from breaking that record. Got into his tournament, got held to 22 points, so he came up 4 points shy. Okay, lost in the quarterfinals. Horizon League is where Detroit Mercy plays. So, after the game, there was talk that there's this other tournament, the CBI. And they said, well, the CBI has said they might invite them to play in the tournament. Despite the fact that Detroit Mercy's record is 14-19. They don't even have a winning record, But there was talk CBI might let them in. Well, the CBI, they have not asked Detroit Mercy to participate. Meaning that old boy is going to fall 4 points short of breaking the record. Okay? So he's upset because he got word that there were people calling the CBI saying, don't let him in. He shouldn't have a chance to break Pete Maravich's record and this, that, and the other. And just to put a little context on this thing, Pete Maravich set the record in 1970. So it's been 52 years. Nobody's broken that record. They didn't have a three-point line back then, and Pistol Pete only played 3 years. Dude averaged 44.2 points per game over his career at LSU. Okay? This guy's a fifth-year senior with the three-point line, had 43 more games to break the record, and he still fell short. Should this guy be complaining that, he doesn't get another shot at it?
Absolutely not. I heard that story on my way into work. I said, what is his point? You should have scored more points in those games prior to. You wouldn't be having this discussion.
Right.
Next story.
Especially you got 5 years to Pistol Pete's 3, and you got the three-point line, and they say this guy shoots a lot of threes too. So, But he said it was selfish and weird for people that the people who called didn't want him to break the record, you know. So, wait a minute, maybe it's selfish and weird for you to want an extra shot when your team is 14-19, you know? Come on, man. So that leads us to our question of the day. Records. Should it really matter how they're broken, you know? Should the how, in the Tunnel Crew's opinion, should the how matter, or should we just say, it's a record. It's meant to be broken, like Birdman said. Record's meant to be broken. How you break it, I don't care. I don't care if it takes you 6 years and it only took this guy 2 to set it. Who cares, you know? I don't care if he had wooden clubs and you got, state-of-the-art metal clubs that can hit the ball twice as far as he. Who cares, you know? Should it matter how records are broken? Tunnel Crew, that's the question of the day.
Wow. Should it matter?
Should it matter? I think I'm gonna lead us off here, y'all. I think it depends on what the record is, okay? And the reason I say that, because some of the records that say Babe Ruth and some of those guys set back in the early turn of the century, the league was segregated then. There were no black players, no Hispanic players. No, there was all white players. So how can you truly say your records are the best of the best when they're being set against, a certain segment, and a whole other segment is left out and said, no, you can't compete? You don't know. There might be tons of guys over here or ladies over here, depending on what you're talking about, who are better. But because you shut them out, we don't know. So I think I really do think it should matter in certain context. You know what I'm saying?
In certain
context, But if things are pretty much the same, like for instance, when you look at basketball, the hoop has always been 10 feet, You've always had to dribble, you've always had to pass, you've always had to shoot, Now the 3-point line does make a difference, that does matter, So this is a tricky question, Tunnel Crew. But like we said, for the listeners, we're going to reiterate what the question is. Records. When it comes to records, should it matter as far as the how?
Well, Big T, I think you summed it up. I mean, because I'm thinking about Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's trying to break Jack's record.
Yeah.
And he has the injury. And in that situation, it shouldn't matter. I mean,
yeah.
Whether he break it now,
yeah,
or 2-3 years from now he break it. I know the clubs are better now.
Yeah.
And all of that. So I guess my answer would be it shouldn't matter.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about that? You think about Jack. Think about how long that record stood. And that goes to show you how good Jack was, because it's gone across eras.
Yeah.
And nobody is still, Tiger's the closest, and he's still, 4 away, And the same thing with Pistol Pete. It's been 50. Is he 3 away?
Yeah.
3 away from tying and 4 away from breaking it, I think. And then you got Pistol Pete's been 52 years. And the closest anybody has come is a guy that's had 5 years and the benefit of 3-point shot, I mean, sometimes when you're good, right?
That's right. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, like you say, you got to look at each individual thing.
Yeah.
With that 3-point line and the example you gave about the leagues being segregated at the time, that's a big difference. Yeah.
It is. Or like with Jim Brown, the rushing record, 12 games. He only played it, 14 games. He only played 14 games. They had a 14-game season. Emmett had the benefit of a 16-game season. Now guys got 17-game seasons. The league is pushing for 18 games. So, but you look at all the passing records that are being set with all these guys, with the rules change where passing is easier now.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's right. It's a great question. It makes you think. But You just have to look. For me, I have to look at each individual
Situation.
situation.
Mhm.
I say absolutely not. Records don't mean nothing. Everything is predicated on. Hear me out, Agape. Because you know what? You should, of all people, be on board with this. You know what I'm saying? Because Agape can have all the blocking and tackling records in Aggie land he won't. But if he ain't got no championships and he ain't play against nobody, I don't want to hear about your record. I want to hear about him blocking Michael Strahan and blocking Dominican Sue. I don't want to hear about no records. I want to hear who you play against. Who did you beat? So that's where I stand. I asked Tone Crew Nation online. I'm still waiting on a response.
Yeah.
There must be a lot of Aggies on there. They're a little, you know, I guess they try to look for something to throw the Aggies out there on us. You know.
Yeah. Birdman, your thoughts?
I mean that's good point too. Hey,
let me ask you this, Bird. So if this guy were to be given the opportunity to break the record by playing in this other tournament, CBI, and he goes out there and he scores 20 points, and so he blows past the record, and he's the new scoring king with 16 points more than Pistol Pete. In your eyes, do you recognize that?
I surely do, because I think we look at the mystique of the player who held that record before.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the record itself. I was actually going to take it one step further because of the product that I love, which is wrestling. I remember watching Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker, losing the 21-0 streak at WrestleMania 30,
which would never be broken, by the way.
Yeah, they said that though. They said that should have never been broken by Brock Lesnar. They said it was going to be broken eventually, because we all know that it's this storyline scripted, whatever. We were, as fans of the product, I think we get caught up, and that's just one example. We get caught up in the mystique of the record, like, oh, this player, it's this wrestler, it's this boxer. He has the it factor. Nobody can touch him until the young lion comes along or the young bull comes along. Says, I got you. I'm taking it.
I'm taking it.
Right.
Sound like the young man. Yes, sir.
I got one for you. XFL. What if a team has an undefeated season? And they start comparing it to your Dolphins?
Oh no!
Hey, pro is pro. Come on, Come on.
That's a good question, but come on, man.
You know. See, you will say that because you're a Dolphin fan. Like, man, that's the team right there.
Well, you know what? It's like Patriot fans saying we got the only 16-0 season ever, which is true. Miami was playing a 14-game season back then, so they could only go 14-0 in the regular season. The Patriot fans, they got a banner hanging up their stadium that says only 16-0 regular season. You know.
But what's the favorite quote? You ain't playing nobody. You ain't up against nobody. And again, you know when they show ESPN Classics and they show all those records Barry Sanders broke. I'm like, where the win? Where the rings?
Say where the rings. TP, you got any thoughts?
He might as well have been playing in the SFL.
You got any thoughts, TP? Uh-oh, you're on mute, TP.
Okay, sorry, it's a little slow. I was just trying to say real quick. I felt like Cheryl Miller was a good breaker.
Yeah.
She for women at that time she was better. You know, it's different social media, but I felt like she was a wonderful breaker.
Yeah.
Better than in my time. Well, without social media, she could have been, and she probably was bigger than LeBron.
Yeah. Hey, Cheryl was tough, boy. You didn't want no part of that.
Bigger than LeBron?
Man, come on now. Hey, Cheryl.
You need to go back to school. Go back to school. Learn about her record because she was better than grown men.
Okay. Hey, and Cheryl didn't have the benefit of a pro league, you know, so once her college career ended, that was it, you know.
And that's why people still fear when you hear her name to this day.
Yep.
Sure
It would have been
would.
nice to see what she would have done in the WNBA, you know.
We ain't fearing no blind man.
Ah, you know what?
Hey, everybody, catch us Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. And then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version. Original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it at WLJFradio.com. You can download the WLJF app. It's available on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, it'll be time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning. The crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the tunnel.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover, and we're moving Thursday, April the 20th. We are moving to Thursday nights at 7 p.m. live from the studio. We're no longer going to be at home with the crossover. We're going to be back to the original crossover sports show, and it'll be coming at you live 7 p.m. Thursday nights on YouTube, and that's starting Thursday, April the 20th. All right, do we have any graphics to show how we did this week? Because we don't have picks. Remember, we said our picks for the next 3 weeks going to be the NCAA tournament. So we're just going to recap how we all did. And then we're going to spend the rest of this segment talk about the Panthers and Cam Newton and stuff like that. But we got any graphics?
We don't have any graphics. I apologize. I had to
That's
fire
no.
somebody from my
You're
staff.
fine. You're fine. You're fine. Hey,
I had to fire somebody today.
You had to fire somebody. That's cool. That's cool. Because I'll go ahead and read them off here. Basically, in the first and second round of the tournament, the overalls look like this. Me and Birdman tied through the first two rounds. We were 33-15. Bromel came in second. He went 32-16. Radar came in third. He went 31-17. Aggie P is fourth. He and TP, I'm sorry, tied for fourth. They both went 29-19. And Stats is bringing up the rear. Poor Stats, you know. What? Say And so the overall records look like this. Me and Birdman are tied again for first in the overall, 69 wins. Bromel is second. He and Aggie P are tied for second with 65 wins. Radar is third with 59 wins. He and TP is tied with Radar, 59 wins overall. And Stats bringing up the rear again with 57 wins. So Stats is ready for baseball season. Stats like, okay, it's time for me to turn things around. The baseball season is here. So here we go.
That's what you get for trying to dictate everybody else's picks.
So that's what
And by the way, I was tanking those first couple of months. I was tanking to keep TP from being in last place. Now Stats is taking my place. So
Stats.
So I stopped tanking Ag I said, I'm about to keep my wins up.
So you happy Stats to moved on back? All right, hey, check this out. check this out. We know we talked about the Carolina Panthers getting the number 1 pick from the Bears. Frank Reich was in a press conference and he said, hey, don't read into all this stuff about I only work with tall quarterbacks. You know, the inference here is that Anthony Richardson, the freak from Florida, he's over 6 feet. And, of course, Stroud, C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, he's over 6 feet. And so that leaves the Heisman Trophy winner, the former Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young, as the little guy. You know, he's 5'10". Hey, I like when they say 5'10 and a half. You know, trying to give him a little help. They say he's 5'10 and a half. So everybody is assuming that he's definitely not going to take him. So your thoughts, Tunnel Crew? You think Frank Reich should take Bryce Young, or do you think he should take these one of the other two, the big guys?
Hey, you know, Big T, I really don't care.
You don't care.
But just for the show, I guess he'll take the taller guy.
Say the taller guy.
Yeah. So, you know, Cam was about 6'5", something
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, hey, keep the tradition going, get you a tall guy, and let's see where you end up at the end of the season.
Yeah. Hey, anybody else got any thoughts?
I hope they don't. I just hope they make a wise decision, especially with Tua's history. No pun intended from him being Miami, but they just need to take somebody who's going to be durable and who has a chance to just, you know, stay in there and be able to learn in the system. You know,
And
grow.
take those hits.
Take those hits first and foremost.
Yeah.
When they said he looked like somebody's trainer or little brother going on to the combine, I was just like, that Alabama will set you up for a failure, bro. I got like 5 Aggie Bees blocking for me in college, and then I go to the NFL and I got 5 Birdmans, man. I'm being serious trouble, man. I'm being bad shape. You know, like what?
Hey, and real quick, so Cam Newton, since we're tired of Carolina Panthers talk together, Cam Newton is 34 years old. He showed up at the Auburn Pro Day to throw. And he posted on social media, and let me make sure I get it right here. He said, tell me how these randoms keep getting jobs. These randoms now. He said, how these randoms keep getting jobs. He said, there's definitely not 32 blankety blanks better than me. So, Total Crew, your thoughts on Cam Newton going to the Auburn Pro Day with all these young guys to try to audition to get back in the league?
First of all, you're too old. Second of all, there is 32 people that is really better than you, especially considering that the fact that you choked against one of the greatest QBs of all time in the big game.
I'm a kind of second that, and at the same time, I mean, these are 32 potentials, and you had your shot.
Go ahead,
So, I mean, your arm is tired.
I think
They will listen. They're humble. They're not complaining. You're complaining. They're teachable. You're not. I mean, it's their time. It's not
Well
yours.
said.
I think TP put him in his place, didn't she?
Yeah. I mean, she summed it up. I mean, you're talking about a guy that never was accurate. He relied on the athleticism.
Yeah.
And he started to get hurt, so that took that away. And
Yeah.
if you're not accurate, you don't need to be in the NFL.
Don't need to be out there.
You know, man, enjoy your retirement, spend your money, donate to all charities.
Yeah. All right. Hey, it's time for us to sign off. Birdman,
So long,
give us your
everybody.
shout out or your shut up and play.
My shout out goes to my Wake Forest women. Y'all didn't
Oh.
win it. Y'all didn't win it all, but y'all made a run for it.
TP,
Shout out to the Tunnel Crew.
there you go. Radar.
Shout out to the Night of Champions. I went to a wrestling event on Sunday. They showed up. Great event.
There you go. Aggie P.
Shout out to Bro Mel.
There you go. Love it. Hey, my shout out is to the Willis Reed family. He died today. He died recently at the age of 80. New York Knicks legend. Pray for that family. Be with them. Hey, for the Birdman.
Whosoever believe in him.
For Aggie P.
No weapon.
For Radar.
Narrow is the way.
For the Queen.
Bless and have a great week.
There you go. I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying, no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator is there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be.
Boy, they lighting us up on the thread tonight, boy.
That's
They
all
was
we
the-
have for you
boy.
today. So be sure to join us next week on The Crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.